just wanted to let everybody know there's 300 people here. What we usually do with these AMAs, we let the team talk, they explain the project, what they're doing, and then if your question doesn't get answered in the AMA, we'll leave some time at the end to get those questions answered, okay? You can leave your hands raised if you want, whatever you want to do, but that's how we're going to run it. But I'd like to welcome all of you to another Cryptonaires AMA. I'm so excited to have the Project X team with us today. We actually have the whole team, or almost the whole team, with us today to go over the project and what they've been working on. And I know there's a lot of excited people, including myself. I'm a big PXT holder. Let's begin. Professor, do you want to maybe introduce yourself first, and then we can kind of go through who everybody else is on the team and maybe what they do for Project X?
Oh yes. First, I would like to apologize for canceling last week's AMA, as I had a family emergency, but all's good now. And now I would like to thank you and your Cryptonaires community for giving us this opportunity for this AMA here. My name is Amir, and most of you guys know me by Blind Ape or Professor X. I'm a father of 4. My background is mainly business. I started crypto quite a while ago, and I had my mind blown as soon as I found out about Strong and how the system worked. And what I've done is I've put together a very, very strong team, and I'll let the team introduce themselves. I'll hand it off to Salad Fingers, who will introduce himself now.
Hey, thanks, Blind Ape. And yeah, thanks again to the whole Cryptonaires community for having us tonight, or tonight here. God knows what time it is in other places where you are. But yeah, so you'll know me as Discord, as Salad Fingers in Discord. And like many in TMX, I wear multiple hats in the project. But ultimately, and primarily, I'm sort of team lead, having my fingers in lots of different pies, from investments to tech, and just generally sort of dog's body. So if there was someone that was going to make all the teas and prepare the biscuits, that would be me. But my sort of IRL background is 20 years experience in developing and managing financial SaaS products for some pretty major financial institutions, which is, as you might have guessed, one of the reasons why I can't really dox, because most of those companies hate crypto with every fiber of their soul. So it's a little bit tricky for me. But if I do dox, it will be nude and from the waist down. So you've got that to look forward to. And I'm going to hand over to our next move. So I think
we got him laughing.
That was
funny,
great. Solid fingers.
Yeah.
Hey guys, nothing original here. It's DiCaprio. The Caps, aka Leo, previously known as Riddick X. Right now, as you guys probably would have guessed it, I'm the community and communications lead. And it's honestly my great honor to finally speak to you guys. I'm a computer science major, and I have 10 plus years experience working across multiple industries, mainly focused on technology, strategy, management, implementation, governance, etc. And I've also worked across healthcare, pharmaceuticals, technology startups, etc. Crypto has actually been my main addiction since 2018. And since then, it's evolved to an obsession within the DeFi space. Aside from the crypto land and my job, I'm an avid long-distance runner, a fisherman, a family man, and I really love my espresso. And with that said, Paul, off to you.
Yeah, hello all. My name's Paul. I'm part of the Project team as tech lead. My main background is mainly like a full stack developer for the last 20 years or so, working on a wide range of projects, including my own. But yeah, my main focus literally the last 12 months is crypto. Crypto is basically the future. It's way more fun. I've been involved like a few startup projects, to be fair, the last 12 months related to crypto. But yeah, my main focus at the moment is Project X. It's an amazing team, to be fair. They're all very special people. Yeah, you probably know me as PH on Discord or Telegram. I'm the one who built the rewards tracker, which a lot of you use. So I've been working on a lot of things in the background too. So yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell. And I'll pass over to the next person.
Hey guys, I'm Sid. I'm a co-tech lead here at Project X, and my expertise lies in data science domain, and I also have my master's in master's degree in data science. I also in real life work in one of the largest asset management company, and I'm being heavily invested in crypto space for last 3 years. And so that's why right now I assist Project X with modeling, database, and any unpredictable technical issues that we might face. And yeah, we got a great team here. I would like to SGT Rocks. You can take over next.
Perfect. Thanks, Sid. Sergeant Rock here. Joined the team, knowing some of the folks in real life. I'm a longtime software sales executive, so I sell business to business software to organizations throughout North America. I'm Canadian based. I also am a long time, about 20 years plus, buy and hold stock investor, and getting into crypto has blown my mind, and it's been incredible to be able to not have anyone in between myself and the investments, and so it's been great. I bring a lot of governance and project management experience here to the team. They asked me to come in as after I was involved and quite active in Discord, and I'm also managing the OTC desk here for Project X, and next week when I get off my boys week watching rugby, I'm going to be hitting hard on partnerships and influencers and so on to establish some more partnerships and investments, but I'll talk about that more later on. So thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, I'm very, very impressed with your team. Most time we do AMAs, we get 1, 2, 3 people up here. The experience is definitely not as extensive as what you guys have. And so I'm just thankful that you guys are all here, and I'm very excited to be talking about this project. I know a lot of us understand or know what Project X is, but there's some people, maybe new people, that are going to watch this or maybe that are here right now that have no clue what Project X is. Can we explain what you guys are doing first, and then we'll get into why you created the project?
Yeah, sure. I'll pick that one up. So we're going to have to rewind back to early 2021, which was a pretty shit year all round, although fairly good for crypto, but terrible for the rest of the world. But essentially, we were a close-knit, and still are a close-knit Telegram private alpha group, so mainly comprised of kind of what I would describe as wise old apes, and a lot of old school strong noders in that group as well. So a lot of experience in this type of project. We've been thinking a long time about starting a DAS project, and been kicking around quite a few ideas. And then obviously towards the tail end of last year, we suddenly saw a large growth in node projects, and ultimately a complete shit show really that ensued from all of the very poorly run and sort of dishonest projects that were out there. And that kind of just spurred us on and made us even more determined to get something into the market that we could really stand by, and ultimately that we'd be happy, for our Auntie Doreen to invest in. And that sort of community-derived project has always been a huge element and the heart of what we do and what we did that back then. To which point, when we started, we brought on board 100 individuals, or our ex-founders, as we call them, to sort of provide a healthy level of initial liquidity and more importantly, enough initial people, to hold the project accountable right off the bat. We really wanted to start in the way that we wanted to carry on. So the key pillars, for the project, I won't go over the basics of these types of projects. Obviously, you're all very experienced in it, but essentially, we wanted those main pillars to be around community, honesty, and ultimately that word that everyone shoots for, but not everyone achieves, which is around sustainability. And we hope that everything we do and plan to do reflects all of those. Do we have the most crazy, unique, complicated model? No, we probably don't. But as we've seen in a lot of recent projects, that's not necessarily a bad thing, as most of those don't seem to sort of play out very well. So we're very much of the minds that we want a very robust, straightforward, but flexible model that we can grow and add to over time. And those additions are obviously homegrown from the sort of fantastic team we've got here, from our community on Discord and other channels. But we're not ashamed to say that we're obviously keeping an active eye across the rest of the markets and the rest of the projects to see what works and what doesn't work. And at the end of the day, this DeFi world is sort of far from being a zero-sum game right now. It's all about growing the market share and not stealing it, which is a fantastic position for us and for you guys to be in. And we want to do everything we can to capitalize on that. Want to dive in with any other comments?
Yeah, I mean, does anybody else have anything they'd like to add? Why do you guys? I mean, I feel that you kind of explained why you guys built the project. You do say that you're kind of like a NAS-DAS hybrid. Can you explain kind of what you guys are doing behind the scenes with the projects? People, they're investing their tokens. What happens after that? What are you guys doing? With the capital? Are you guys what are you investing in? Kind of start getting into stuff like that, please, if you can.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so it is a hybrid model. So it's a DAS and NAS. So as you can see, I can't remember what it was, a couple of weeks ago, we launched obviously the RPC endpoints for the project, which sort of took us into that NAS space. And there was other, we've got our AVAX validator and we've got other things coming along in that space, but also, as you mentioned, a big part of it is more of the investment on the DAS side. And what we want to do there is really have a very well structured plan for what we do with that investments to raise the obviously the revenue to keep the project going. So what we're trying to do there is have quite a well structured split on how we spend that. We obviously had a bit of an odd start with the way that the markets went as we launched, which means that obviously we didn't rush into anything too crazy. We did rush into a couple of little degen plays because that seemed like the sensible thing to do at the time when the rest of the market was not looking too great. So we thought we'd go put a little bit into some high risk stuff and hold the rest back for the bigger plays down the road, which are now starting to come into fruition. But essentially, the main sort of idea with the revenue with the capital we got, so we're looking at sort of a 25% stake in, or 25% split in staking and stables. So pretty low risk, but nice steady return on those. 25% in mining. So this is going to be a mixture of proof of work and proof of stake. So we're trying as well there to make sure that we've got good strategy in terms of the way that particularly POW might go over the coming months and years, particularly in sort of EU and places like that where there may be restrictions. So we want to make sure that we've got good flexibility on getting in and out of that and being able to not get too trapped into the various things. And then looking at a 40% share in the emerging sort of markets and emerging chains and projects. So that's probably our biggest chunk. So that's where we're making plays like Metis and Utrust and other areas like that. So projects that we really think have got good upside potential in the medium term. And then, as I mentioned earlier, looking at a sort of a 10% play in some more degen, high risk, high reward type thing. So I don't know if someone else wants to quickly run through the tokenomics. Do you want to take that on, Skippy?
Yeah, that'd be great if Skippy could do that. Or anybody, if somebody wants to get into explain, how many tokens there are, when you go set up a node, what is the, distribution of those tokens? If anyone could take that'd be awesome. Maybe Skippy's making those biscuits, I think.
I think he is.
Could anyone else get into the tokenomics, or we'll come back after he's done with the yeah.
Hey, maybe he's got some
Sid,
So we
go for it, Sid.
Yeah. So basically, as you all know, we use 10 tokens to create a node, and out of which our split is currently 7-1, which means 70% of it goes to the reward pool, 20% of it goes to the treasury, and rest 10% we split it as 5 and 5 for smoothing reward and the operation pool. That's how the current tokenomics is working with the current version. And rest, Salfinger, do you have to add anything on it?
So is it, how many tokens total? Is it a million? I don't have that in front of me. How many tokens is it total?
Yeah, no problem. It's the DiCaprio here. So version 1 we had 1 million supply. When version 2 came along, pretty much airdrop 1-to-1 ratio for PXT1 to PXT2. Following that airdrop, the 100 founders, which we have yet to speak of, but I think play an absolutely huge role, critical role in the success of this project. The founding members decided to burn 10,000 tokens, and I think at that time, some team member could correct me if I'm wrong, that was about, I don't know, let's say $80,000-$90,000 right there. So right now the circulating supply is about 990. We launched V2 at around $8, and the launch pair obviously was with AVAX. And yeah, further to that, just to allude what Sid just spoke about, as soon as you create a node, 7 tokens are transferred to the rewards, 2 tokens transferred to the treasury, which is where we do our investments. 0.5 is put onto the operations pool, which essentially pays for marketing, team fees, as well as our salary, so to speak. And then the other 0.5 goes to something which is pretty unique in this niche. It goes towards something called the smoothing pool, whereas we'll utilize this smoothing pool or reserve to pretty much smooth the prices. If we see a huge drop in the price, we'll use that to buy back certain tokens.
Oh, I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, we do too. Luckily, we've been really privileged not to have used it incredibly much, to be honest. I think we used it maybe once, maybe twice in V1. But in V2 right now, we're looking pretty solid in terms of price action.
So let's get in, unless Salad had anything to add on that, I'd like to get into why we went from V1 to V2. What were the issues that you guys experienced with the version 1 contract and why you had to go to the V2?
Yeah, sure, I can pick that up. Just to finish off on the earlier point, I think it's really important to say that obviously those levers, we got a lot of control over those levers as well in terms of how we use that other 3 tokens. So we really do flex that around as we see fit to benefit the project. So we're not kind of trapped into one thing, and that's another reason for V2. So V1, I'm not going to lie, we had some elements of the contract that we obviously inherited from other projects, and the main issue that we had was around the rewards contract. So it was around when we tried to change the reward rates and the rewards, so more the time frames, so much more than the actual amount. So we wanted to move from a 24-hour payout to an hourly payout, so people have a bit more flexibility on that. It brought up all sorts of challenges with the contract, where we had delays in rewards going out, and we had nodes getting locked, and people having to wait, and it was all very painful and frustrating. So we decided to very quickly redo the rewards contract, but at the same time we thought, well, look, hang on, we kind of just launched. We've got a good opportunity here. There's other things that we know we want to do and rectify. So particularly things like changing claim tax to a sell tax and other things like that to help with the sell pressure side of things. We thought, look, let's take a little break before we get too stuck into this. We've got a good community. We can keep them on side. We can make sure we're very transparent at what we're doing. Let's get everything fixed and not drag it out. And that's what we did. So we did take a bit of a longer break. We were hoping to get it all done in a couple of days. I think I stupidly made some comments about how long it might take, which I'm never going to do again. I should know far better than that, given my experience. But there we go. I was excited and eager. But yeah, so it did take longer. So we did have that kind of long period where the project was obviously stalled for a bit, but we kept great comms up. We had a fantastic community keeping things going. During all of that time, I think it's really important to say that the rewards continue to be paid out. We even raised the rewards level so that people were actually benefiting from this kind of issue that we had. So I think some people were wishing it would carry on for even longer. And then obviously got it rectified. And one of the things, obviously, I think everybody was slightly anxious about was all this rewards pot that had built up for people. And we thought, God, shit, is the price going to crash? Is everyone going to dump all this stuff? But thankfully, because of hopefully the trust that we gained from the community, we saw the opposite. And actually, once we relaunched on V2, we saw a great traction. So that's where we're at now. So we've fixed all of those issues that we wanted to get into V2, and in a good place now for the future.
How's the V2 contract going? Has there been any issues since deployment of V2? And if so, what were the changes that were made or fixes that were made on the V2 contract?
Yeah, of course. There's always fucking problems. That's probably, but there we go. Such is life. Yeah. So we had an issue with claiming. So we had an issue where there was a certain sequence of events with transactions, buy sell transactions, which caused a bit of a temporary lock on the contract. So obviously we put minds into that to try and rectify that, and we're able to solve that via external means. So we weren't, didn't have to go down the realms of any remigration or anything like that. So yeah, nothing huge, just a bit of an annoyance. But we're sort of through that, and obviously, as each of these things go on, we learn and we take those learnings and build it into a stronger project. So at the moment, I think touch wood or fake wood on my desk, everything seems good, and we can now really get on with the world of building out and adding capability and adding features rather than fixing what was there in the first place.
I'm glad you guys have such a skilled team, because often newer projects run into these issues and they don't have the skill set on the team to take care of the issues, and then the project ends up folding and everybody gets upset. And so it's nice to see that you guys really do have the team put together to fix any type of issues that come forward.
I think just to add to that, I mean, it's the team, but and the skills, but I would say it's the determination and grit. I think I've never met a bunch of people that are more determined, more committed to getting stuff sorted. It is crazy. I mean, lots of us literally didn't sleep in probably 72 hours, and it was such a dedicated team. And a lot of them, for their own sort of faults, unfortunately, don't have the word no in their vocabulary. So, we just everything gets sorted every time.
Yeah, and a quick add, Sergeant Rock here, a quick add. I mean, it was a bit of running the gauntlet, trying to get things solved. One of the things that I observed, being newer to crypto, was in the Discord, the community just bonded. And because I'll say we as the community, because I wasn't involved with the core team at the time, we really just tried to rally and support the group. We tried to keep a good community feel. And the Discord community is off the charts. Best I've ever seen in my short tenure with crypto. And the team, the core team, was honest, was straightforward. Hey, we screwed up. Listened to feedback. Didn't get too emotional, and it worked out well. So that was an observation from my perspective.
Yeah, thank you to each and every one of you. Sorry, Sensei.
No, go for it,
every one of you that are joining the call. Community, as we know, is probably the most important aspect when it comes to crypto. Just want to say the team really appreciates you guys. Working hard, heads are down, staring at our keyboards throughout the day. So honestly, we just appreciate your support throughout this whole process. Also, further to that, OGs, shout out to you guys, mods, love you folks. If it wasn't for you guys, it'd be tough. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's good to know that you guys have such a good Discord community, because I'll be honest, I don't like using Telegram. I think Telegram's a really terrible place to go and get information. There's scammers everywhere. I mean, there's scammers in Discord too, but having a healthy Discord community, I think, is the bare minimum to have a very solid growth of a project. And it sounds like you guys have the team from the bottom down, including moderators and people that help run the chat and things like that. You guys are all working together in sync, which is phenomenal, guys. Cheers to that. Walk me through what type of partnerships that you guys have kind of made or you're working on. Partnerships, any type of exchange listings, any type of alpha you can share with us along those lines. I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, Sergeant, did anybody else want to take this, or I can take it on?
I can jump in a bit. I mean, one of the things that I'm trying, Sergeant Rock here, trying to establish, and Blind Ape has given me a laundry list of things to do. As I said, I'm on a boys trip this week, watching some rugby and stuff. So next week I hit that. We focused on engaging with when Node Bears did a solid investment with us. We've done a little bit of exchange and community exchange with a couple of projects. It's something that I think we need to do more of. We need to get what I call institutional investors, because I remember I come from a bit of that background. But folks, groups like yourself, cryptonaires that can move the markets and bring strength to our organization. And we also need to do some more engagement on the currency listings and the various exchanges and so on. But we focused on organic marketing up to this point, community, building strength. Doing our AMA earlier this week and this AMA, and then putting out our white paper has really hardened the team's long-term strategy. I mean, we've always had a great vision, but we put in tons of hours to lock in, and partnerships are definitely on that radar.
Yeah, so just further to that point, that was perfect response, Sergeant. But in terms of partnerships, no partnerships set in stone. We have had collaborations with No Bears, as you guys probably could tell. I mean, pretty dope project over there. And to be quite honest, as a community lead, I'm approached probably about, half a dozen times a day from numerous organizations and protocol projects, all that are within, I'd say, an arm's reach right now. But at this time, as Salad Fingers was speaking about, we're just focused on innovation and solidifying ourselves within this known market space, we'll call it. Also, in terms of the partnerships, we rely heavily on our 100 founders. They haven't let us down, and we're going to pretty much lean on them for further exposure to different, say, partnerships, organizations, enterprises, etc.
Awesome, man. No, that's great. Is there anything before I open up to the audience, because we have a really big audience, and I know there's going to be a lot of questions from them, and I do want to get all their questions in. Is there anything maybe that I haven't asked that you guys would like to go over before we open it up to your great community and our great community? Anything that maybe we've left out that people really need to know before we do open it up to the fans and the people that are supporting the project?
I mean, from what I can say, that we have quite a lot of stuff going on, which we cannot show everyone at this point, because we want to surprise everyone with every single announcement that we have.
No, you're just teasing now, Blind Dave.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna be in your DMs every day then, asking for updates. So
Such a cock tease. But I think let's bring on the questions.
All right,
Yeah,
let's do it.
Sorry, I have to correct myself. I'm getting 1,000 DMs here. In terms of partnerships, yes, obviously, as you guys have seen throughout the community announcements, UOT is on our radar, obviously. Shout out to them. So that's another partnership that we're currently entertaining, we'll see, at this present time. Yeah, just wanted to add that in. Thanks.
I have a good connect over there. If you need some a good push their way, I can step in and help with that. But
Okay.
let's bring up some questions and we'll get going here. Terry, I know you've been waiting the whole time, so I invited you up first. You got to click the little green button on the top of Discord to come up, though, okay? And then we'll get you up here. Let's bring out some other people. There we go. So Gods was up here first. Gods, what's your question for the team?
Hey, well, thank you for bringing me up. I actually did an AMA with Thor, I believe it was yesterday, and I was talking about, the protocol, how they're investing in their other projects. Now, I myself am an investor, and I've been looking for something that really gives you your bang for your buck. I'm into Flux. I've been, mining over there. The rewards are small, and really anything legit gives you pretty small rewards. Even staking, if you're staking on crypto.com or whatever, the rewards are pretty small. So for protocols that come out like Nodes and to give us, 0.17 is pretty good. But I understand that Project X, you guys are investing in other protocols as well. And so when I talked to Thor yesterday, I mentioned that, hey, I think the reason why Thor is so big is because they have a ranking system, right? If you can get an Odin, you're up there. And then they have like a leaderboards thing. If you can get God mode, that's the next step up. These are aspects of like gaming. And so I think like my number one crypto right now is Illuvium because they have 300 APY. So will you guys start investing into GameFi because they actually have something that can bring people in? They have rankings, leaderboards, all that stuff generates income for people to get in and compete. And I think for protocols like such as yourself to get into that, where they're staking protocols, that really helps out become sustainable. You guys have any plans for that in the future?
Yeah, I'll pick up. Sorry, there's going to be a bit of a delay because there's so many of us trying to decide who's going to speak up. But yeah, no, completely. And that whole sort of gamification side of things and the the competition side is definitely something that we are looking at. I mean, ultimately, look, there's two ways for sustainability. One is for obviously our treasury to bring in good yield on itself, and obviously for that, we want to make sure that we're investing into good, solid projects. And we don't want to necessarily just invest in other node projects and end up, just the whole system will just eat itself. But we want to invest in decent, proper midterm projects that are going to bring us our 10x's, our 20x's as the markets go. And I think we're in a great position at this point, hopefully, for all our portfolio's sake. I think we're going to be in a good position at the moment to do that. And we're also quite lucky, obviously, a large percentage of our treasury is still in AVAX, which is having a good upside at the moment as well. So it means that we've got some time to make those good decisions. So that's one side, and then obviously, the other side is what we can do, I suppose, what we call internally to our ecosystem, internally to our particular project. And I think that's some of the stuff that Blind Ape was sort of referring to before that we're working on. And definitely some of those are going to be in that gamification space.
That was a great question and statement, Gods. Thank you. Did you have a second
one more before I go?
Of course, sir. Of course.
Someone mentioned in the comments, they said something about, and I guess this is just interesting on my part to ask this about you guys' 18%. Now, I understand that if you sell, that's when the 18% kicks in. Is that something written into your contract where when we sell on Trader Joe's, that kicks in and that 18% hits? Because I've seen someone in the comments say on CoinMarketCap, they said something like if you change your slippage from 1% to like 22%, somehow you can get around that. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it's just interesting about how you guys have that 18% sale tax, and that's not even part of the website, or it's like on Trader Joe's. It's weird how that works.
Yeah, so it's part of the contract. So you see, it's not that common on tokens, but it can be baked. Basically, you can bake in a sales tax, into the token. You can also bake in stuff like transfer taxes and things like that if you care to do so. But yeah, so essentially, it's taken at the point of transaction. So it doesn't matter what exchange that you're trading on. That will be taken off. Now, I'm not sure what that person was talking about. 22%. That's bullshit. You can't get around it. Basically, you've got a couple of options. If you're on Trader Joe, then you just need to make sure you set the slippage to above the sales tax. So we find kind of 21, 22 is a good sort of place to put that to get that through. But if you use other exchanges such as Bogged Finance, they do it all for you, which hence why we've switched on our website to use that as our standard. So you can basically just set your slippage to 0.5% or 1%, and they will automatically handle that sales tax for you. So you lose out the minimum for those. But the sales tax works really well. It was initially deployed as a mitigation against that risk that we saw. Potentially with all of those rewards being built up. I mean, it's like 100,000 tokens built up in that reward, ready to go. So we put that in place. But I think, as you'll see from other people on the Discord community, actually, it's working really well, and it's working really well for our chart. So it's like, why would we? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We do have total control over that tax, so that can be changed at any time. So I'm sure it will, change in the future. But ultimately, it's done on a contract level.
Hey, what I was going to say is, what other project to use for security purposes. If someone cashes out 100 million or like $1 million worth of your coins, that sales tax could kick in like about 100% until you can verify if it's like someone stealing from the contract or what. That sounds like a really interesting aspect to have in the coin.
Yeah, that's good. And ultimately, you know, it goes back into the pool for everybody else. So there's the benefit.
Great,
Thank you.
gods. I really appreciate your questions, man. Thanks for coming up. Arvin, what do you have for the team? You go ahead and unmute and ask away, my friend.
Hi everyone, thanks for bringing me up. I have a couple of questions. I can ask one by one. If it is too much, you can ask me to stop. The first question is about the sales tax. I heard that in the Tor AMA, if there is a sales tax for a token, it cannot be listed in any exchanges. And then I think it will limit your options in the future to be listed in the big exchanges or to do some kind of marketing. Do you have any comment on that one?
Yeah, that is something that we're looking into, because we're obviously, you know, talking to a couple of exchanges. But ultimately, yeah, we're exploring that, and there may be ways around that.
I see. Then the other question is about the sustainability of the program, because we now see what is happening with the Tor. I'm a big investor in Tor. I also invested in a protocol, but every node is good in the beginning because you have the new generation and lots of new investor. When it's flat or it becomes flat or to the saturation mode, people start to get the profit. Then it will you have a lots of sell pressure on the protocol. And then it becomes, if there is a utility for the token or there is any proactive plan to reduce the sell pressure. Do you have any comment on this one too?
Yeah, so there's a few things we're doing on sell pressure. So like I said, we've got those levers that we can pull for the, you know, essentially, I suppose, the auto sell, you know, on node creation that a lot of projects have. So we can flex those as we need. And that's why we're looking, or that's, sorry, not even looking. That's why we did things like the OTC trades and other ways to basically be able to make those sales without affecting the chart. And we are also soon to be deploying the bonding solution as well, which will allow, again, the ability to make those transactions without creating that sell pressure. So yeah, very much on our minds.
I see. Okay, that's my two questions for today, and it was a great idea to change the logo. I didn't like the previous logo. This logo looks better. Great job, guys.
Well, cheers, man.
Thanks, Art. Appreciate your honesty, man, and your questions. You have a good day, sir. Ramez, what's your question for the team?
Hi, how are you? Thank you for inviting me in. My question is a simple one. I would like to understand the investments that you have currently made, and the returns you are getting from those investments. Are those sufficient to offset all the rewards you're giving, or we are also rewarding the investor based on the new nodes that are being created? So talk me through the investments that you have made. You have made AVAX or whatever you have invested, and what are the returns on those, and what are we looking in the future? Are they sustainable? Will they continue to be good in the future, or how will that be?
Yeah, sure. So, as I said earlier, it's very early days. We did, for the last few weeks, the markets have not been particularly in a great position for making those plays and those acquisitions. And a large percentage of the treasury that had been created as part of the node creation was at AVAX at a pretty low level. So we knew that we know that obviously we had a good upside potential there straight away from that. So that helped us in a way, because it meant we don't need to rush into making any decisions, and we can really actually see how the market's going. Obviously, you can see at the moment we've taken a bit of a drop down. Bitcoin's taken a bit of a drop down. ETH's now back below 3. So we're in a point where we've got our eyes on the investments that we want to make, particularly in that mid-size projects and emerging platforms. But we're just waiting for the right time to get those entries in. But in the meantime, we are then now more looking at the sort of the top two sections that I mentioned. So this is around the staking of the stables, which obviously doesn't bring in a huge amount, but it all helps. but more importantly, getting into proper infrastructure for mining, and that's going to be a big play of ours because it's such a great model for bringing in pretty decent level of return with a fixed asset.
Okay, good enough for me. Thanks.
Thanks, Ramirez. Appreciate you. Oh, Ramez, I'm sorry. Jive, I'm sure you have a fire question. Go ahead and ask the team, sir.
I don't know whether I should take that as a compliment or something else. Thank you, Sensei, for bringing me up on the stage.
Go for it, Jive.
Hey, Professor X, I like your picture. Well, let me quickly start with this. My first question is, hey, congratulations. You guys have a very strong team, I just got a glimpse. I was a bit late to this AMA, but definitely I got a quick hangover in terms of what your team looks like. Let me ask you a question, okay, leading to that. When you have such a strong team, when you have a good capability, both in terms of breadth and depth of the technology and the industry that you're operating on, why did you go for a pre-sale? Why did you not go for bootstrapping with your own investment? Why did you not bring in a VC into this?
Yeah, I think that's really. Sorry.
Okay, so Sergeant Rock here. I wasn't involved at the very beginning, but certainly one of the principles of the original Project X was to come forward with 100 founders that had been through the crypto world, the strongs, some of the bad projects from before, and they wanted to get together and support something that was going to be built long term and sustainable. And it's community based. I mean, you mentioned VC and venture capital, private equity, and the centralized finance world, where I live in times. I don't think that's what we want here at crypto. Certainly not at the Project X. So the 100 founder community has been a great bedrock in addition to the existing community that we have developed and flourished in the Discord world.
Interesting. See, you guys should have done a lot of research in terms of the platform and in terms of the product that you have launched, right? What is your view about this nodeverse that is going on? What do you see down the line 3, 6, 12 months?
You mean in crypto in general, or
in the product that you have launched? Like, see, you guys have launched a node model. Okay, it's a hybrid of node and DAS, and So I'm sure you guys have done a lot of research and study about it, looking into various products and various derivatives. So what is your views? Okay, and what do you think down the line, say 6 months, 12 months, it's going to look like? How is this things going to change?
Right. Yeah. No. Great question. So, in the white paper, we discussed this and some of the future. A big thing that we're thinking about is sustainability. Ramez touched on it earlier. What are the things that keep the project going, particularly a node project? My own personal view is you can keep things going, relatively well with investor money internally, but we need to access outside revenue. And when I classify outside revenue with my salesman's hat on, thinking of ways to license software to external folks, bringing in outside money. My personal view would be that's not venture capital or private equity. I don't need a Solana issue and people mucking around trying to take control of things. But we're looking at P2E. Gamification is a great option. Potentially NFTs. Like, we want to be able to branch out into other futures other than staying as a static node project. Does that help?
Fairly. I take your point of view. So Sid, this question is for you. Look at the whole tokenomics, and this can be for any node project. The first 9.33% of users who join the project, okay, or what I could call it as an early adopters, they are the ones who make their ROI back. Anything after that, there's a challenge for these users to get their ROI back, because by the time they even come anywhere close to the ROI term, you guys are draining out of your treasury amount. And to add up to this complexity, the team over here is getting paid out of the treasury, and they're not paid on the performance of the treasury, irrespective of whether it does bad or good. So how are you planning to bring in more new users? Assume saying that if there's a new user who walks in today and he creates say 5 nodes or 6 nodes, the return on investment that he gets, it's so far stretched. And the next cut that you make in terms of your rewards, that goes like into months. And one more cut, you're doomed. What is your plan for that?
Yeah, a great question. So first of all, yeah, there's obviously it's not just our project, but every project awards people who are like early investor, not because they invest early, but it's because they actually help in building a platform for them, a base, a foundation, and supports the project. So. So I don't mind people who jump in early getting a high reward because yeah they took that risk, right? And coming to your ROI thing, yes, ROI sustainability is something that all the node projects are currently uh, trying to solve it. So if I don't know if you have checked, but our reward pool is currently I would say one of the healthiest among all the node projects, with handling over 80% of the total tokens, and it's been growing day by day. So there are other node projects where people are still investing, they are still going into them. People are investing in similar projects knowing that their reward pool is decreasing. They know that there is going to be a time where they won't know the solution, but it's their trust. Anyone would like to have a passive income, right? So that's what is driving these projects. And our project is actually has a good foundation, a great tokenomics, and it is still growing and has the healthiest reward pool or other structure. So that's why I think this has higher runway compared to the others. And if you talk about the other thing like paying the team, so team doesn't get actually paid through this thing. So as I told you the tokenomics earlier, it's just 0.5 token goes to the operation pool, and we are really not using that. It's more of we have other money, like we have around 10% of total tokens right now in the smoothing reward, which we can push anytime when we want to the to our reward pool in case there is any uncertainty, like suppose there is any major outbreak. So this is something where you never know when a major outbreak can happen at anywhere. So that's where we also have a backup plan to support it. So that's why I think right now it's a gray area, to be honest. In all the node projects, no one can definitely answer, okay, we have solved this. It's like there won't be any magic bullet to say, okay, this is what we have figured out. But what we can say is we have the best, we currently stand at a best platform. And I don't think if you like list everyone out, compare their how much they are earning, how much incoming is there, and how much they are sending out in tokens, I think we stand at a very good place. I hope this answers.
So, Sid, I infer 3 things from your statement. Okay,
Mhm.
point number 1,
Mhm.
you're saying that you are not interested in new users onboarding onto your platform. It's no more lucrative for them. Point number 2, okay,
Mhm.
what you're saying is, though the node opportunities and projects have been there in the industry for the past 1 year, you, despite of having a very strong team, you have not done any innovation. Okay, and you don't have a roadmap, you are just trying to go with the flow. And point number 3, okay, this is what I infer. I infer saying that if I invest $10 today, you are going to give me $1 every day for the next 10 days. Okay, but what happens is by the time I reach the 10th day, you're going to change the whole dynamics. And then again, I have to wait for another 10 days. So is my inference correct?
Okay, let's look at this step by step. Okay, I would first go to the first point. Can you just repeat the first point that you inferred from this?
Let's go to the innovation question. See, Node has been there in the industry for a little while. It's been there for 1 year. Okay, and you guys have a difference in the USP that stands today as a strong team that comes behind you. Okay, and despite of the fact having a strong team, you make a statement saying that you will go with the flow. No one has discovered what is going to happen to the node. Tomorrow there can be an attack, and day after tomorrow it can collapse.
We are okay. So first of all, we are not saying that we it's kind of we can't say like we are just going with the flow, or you are talking about the investments which we have done over this period. We have not done anything different. To answer this, to be honest, if you see other projects what you just see the crypto world over the last month. I don't think there is any good performing thing which has been happening, and over that time the Project X team and the community has shown the support, and it has, like, I would say, outbitten the crypto land over the last month. Obviously that's because we are growing, and I think that was a good thing that we did, that we didn't invest anything, because whatever you were saying, all the other projects were coming down, and that's where the first thing about why investments or what the other plans were not taken into consideration.
Let me not take more time. And one last leading question.
Yeah, actually, hang on a sec. If it's Sergeant Rock here, could I get Salad Fingers to respond to the no innovation? I take a little bit of umbrage at that, but if Salad, you've got something to say about that.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good point. I think innovation is an interesting word. Innovation comes in two ways. There's creation of new tech and new ideas, and then there's application of those. And both of those things are just as legitimate as types of innovation. If you take someone like, I'm not comparing ourselves to Apple, but let's take someone like Apple. They are not on the bleeding edge of everything that's going on. They're not taking every single risk they can. They're not doing all those things. What they're doing is they're taking a mature, responsible look at the market, what works, what doesn't work in that position they're in, and then they're capitalizing on that. And that's where we need to be. We're not in this for some crazy idea that suddenly bumps our price up 300%, and then, oh, lo and behold, it doesn't work, it fucks up and everyone loses. That's not what we're into. We're into slow, steady, responsible growth. And that is, that's everything that we're focusing on. So I think, anyway, that's my position on it.
Let me ask this last leading question. Yeah, one last leading question, because I know that a lot of people over here, I don't want to sabotage on their time. So I heard you saying that there were two investments that you were potentially, one investment you had already looked at potential, which is UTrust, and the other one you named as NodeBear. Can you tell me a quick framework on what basis do you identify these players to partner with you? Okay, and did you do any due diligence, be it with NodeTrust, NodeBears, or be it with UTrust?
Yes, if I take up the UTrust idea, so that's not a partnership. Obviously, that's just an investment similar to the Metis investment. So they're really just about which projects do we think have the best upside potential in 2022. Obviously we've made our views clear on Metis and where we think that is going, and we think we've got a pretty good buy-in position on that. UTrust is a more interesting one. Obviously, one of the things with both of those is around a play in the Web3 payment space, which, as we know, is potentially got one of the biggest upsides for 2022. And the idea around UTrust is that obviously they are trying to absolutely smooch that market, and that's going to result in hopefully one of two things. One of those is going to be they massively steal, or not even steal, but they grow that market share to a great level, and they benefit from that. Or possibly what more likely might happen is a large scale company institution will come in looking to acquire that best player in the Web3 payment space, and either of those two things should bring pretty significant upside. So we're just looking at solid projects and solid things that have good midterm and long term potential to them. I'll probably let DiCaprio pick up the question about NodeBears, as he's sort of closer to that.
Sure. Let me just close it with UTrust. See, UTrust has been there in the market from 2017. They have been trying to break into the e-commerce market space for payments. Yeah. They have captured 0.03% of the market space and have been struggling since then. Okay, they have not innovated anything, and they have been hammered by the biggies like Shopify, PayPal, Cash App, and whatsoever players who are coming into the market. What do you think, and why do you think UTrust is going to take over the market, and it will be a potential company to be acquired?
I don't think it's about taking. I don't think it's about taking over the market. If I said that, I didn't mean it. I just meant getting a decent share of that market. I think it's a space that is still on the cusp of explosion. We're not there yet. You go and talk to your fellow person in the street. They're not at that point yet in terms of the maturity of the market and how they're and how they're spending their money. But I still, we still strongly believe. I mean, look, we're not talking about a huge play in these things. We're just talking about creating a good, diverse portfolio. One of those things being Utrust. So, it's just about having a good spread across different sectors, different areas of the crypto space, and not just chucking everything, into some crazy high APY plan that will probably fall flat on its face.
Interesting view. Thank you.
Thank you, Jive. I appreciate all your questions, man.
Yeah, so sorry, Sensei, just in terms of node bears here. So we did vet the team, we did vet the project. A few of the senior mods there have approached us, and we've been in close contact with them for, I'd say, about the past month and a half. Huge shout out to them. They're very welcoming team. Their marketing is exceptional, communication is exceptional as well. But I just wanted to allude to the fact that look who we're paired up against. Thor and Strong. Let's all compare market caps and how our previous performance let's compare our previous performance and how it's been since Node Bears have launched. I, for one, can say this partnership definitely, or collaboration, has definitely worked out in all favors. And I just wanted to allude to the fact that, yes, we do trust the team. We can't do a complete due diligence, but we do have faith in the people that introduced us to the project. Thanks.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you clarifying that Node Bears thing. Let's get to, I think it's SZA was up here before Jas was. So let's go to oh, no, wait. Is SZA with you guys? Did they change their picture? I have no idea what's going on. Maybe Jas then. Jas, what's your question?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you. Sorry.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for this is actually my first time. I joined like a day ago, man. But it's
Welcome.
pretty cool. Thanks, man. I'm actually looking for this is like a big thing going on, right? It's DeFi, it's just nodes and passive income. So I've been looking into getting into either there's a lot of talk about Thor, Strong Block, and there's Power. I've been looking into that. But what's kind of like your guys' difference between all of those? What stands you out from most of those, and why I should be looking into, because it sounds really interesting. This is my first time getting into DeFi, so I would love to hear like what sets you guys apart from the rest of the crowd. That's just my question there.
Does anybody on the team want to just take the question about what kind of separates you guys from Strong and Thor? I mean, I know everyone's kind of doing similar things, especially Thor and you guys, but anyone want to take the question?
Yeah, sorry, I was just like delayed there. So I think the key thing, as I mentioned earlier, we've all sort of said along the road, is that it's not a zero-sum game, So there are going to be different variations of these projects, all with slightly different, different models that they're going with. We're not too, focused on what other people are doing. We're just really concentrating on our way. We're not a fork. We've got our own roadmap. We've developed our own contract. We're trying to be, in control of our own destiny and not worrying about what's going on in other places. We're obviously learning from other places, from both the positives and the negatives that are happening in there. But ultimately, like I say, I don't think, and as if you're new to this space, I think probably like most people on here that have been in it a while, you're probably going to get your fingers in all sorts of different projects, and that's probably the right thing to do. But our main thing is just concentrating on what we're doing and being a really rock solid player in that space, along with those other names that you mentioned. So, we're not here to shit on anyone else's projects. We're just here to talk about ours and try and build build that communications around what we're doing. But yeah, welcome to the world of nodes and DeFi.
And I just want to point out though, this community Cryptonaires, we got into Thor day one, Power, PXT, Vaporfy, all those
Exactly.
projects were called
Yeah.
before
You're not picking one.
So if you've been in Cryptonaires for a while, you've been in those projects since they launched, and you've probably made a ton of money off of those projects. And so, having a solid team like what you have up here, these guys are very impressive, and it really is up to the project to innovate after launch and work on it and grind away. And they seem to be working on it and grinding away. So it's definitely one to watch and see what's going to happen. I'd like to jump into some of these other questions if that's okay with you, Jazz. Did that answer your question though?
Yeah, thanks for that. It sounds like you guys are a relatively new team, so because I think that maybe I might be too late then for Thor and all that. So I'm actually looking for a pretty new team, so I'll look into you guys more. But thanks for answering the questions.
Thank you, Jazz.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Hey,
Hop on
Jazz,
Discord. We'll
sorry,
get
go
back.
ahead. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's go with Inglick. I probably said your name wrong. I apologize. But what's your question for the team, friend? Just need to. We can't quite hear you if you're talking. All right, I'm going to bring up one more person while you try to get that mic issue figured out. It does happen. Hold on, I got a couple more people here that want to come up and ask a question. I guess Elik didn't have a question or couldn't get his mic working. So Hassan, welcome. What is your question for the PXT team?
Hi, my question for the PXT team is, sorry I'm late, so I don't know, I haven't heard any updates on the audit. And secondly, is there any solution to tackling liquidity issues? Like, let's say 6 months from now, everyone here has compounded to 100 nodes, and they start cashing out. Is there going to be any liquidity problems? That's my question for today. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I could take on the audit if you guys want. Then I could pass over the liquidity question to another team member. Okay,
take
cool.
it on, brother.
Yeah, sounds good, man. So audits, we're looking at Certic, Paladin, Hackin, but we haven't made a final decision yet. And we also have some upgrades planned, so we want to incorporate those into the process. We may hold off onto the audit for the time being until the upgrades are completed and the audit's done before our next deployment, but it would be kind of crazy. The audit section is also, I believe, part of Join the UOT, so we could definitely expect this to continue on to move forward in that direction. And then in terms of the liquidity question, I could pass it on to the next team member.
Great.
Sure.
Who wants to tackle that? Salad, you got this?
Yeah, I'll pick that up. Yeah. So I mean, essentially, as we mentioned earlier in the tokenomics, there's a chunk that goes into the smoothing pool, and really it's all about active liquidity, management. As you see, we've already made some changes previously to the liquidity when actually the inverse was true. We had a little bit too high liquidity really for what we needed at the current price level. So we reduced that, and good things ultimately came from that. So really it's just about that responsible and active management of the liquidity. So each major price point that we get to, we'll be looking to inject more liquidity in to maintain, the status quo on that. So, rest assured we'll be responsibly managing that as we go forward.
Hassan, does that answer your question, sir?
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Just to double check, it's just injecting liquidity. So you guys do that on the spot, depending on how much money comes out of the PXT.
Yeah, it would be essentially injecting liquidity or reducing as is needed at any given moment. Now, hopefully, we're just at the point now where we'll be looking to, to inject in more as we move up the charts. So yeah, but don't worry, we're managing that very closely.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Hassan. Great questions, man. Appreciate you coming up. SZA, I knew you had a question, so you want to go ahead and unmute and ask your question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir. Welcome.
Perfect. Thanks for having me here. Just one question. Is there one plan for get another tiers? It's just one tier. You can buy one node like this, but will be there also in future another tiers? where you can have investing a little bit more and get more rewards, or will it continue just with like it is right now?
Yeah, sure. Good question, and one that we've chatted about a lot amongst the team. Tiers are an interesting one. There's kind of two sides to tiers. One is the functional and I suppose the fiscal side of it, of how they can help or not help the project, and the other is more around, I suppose, the marketing and availability and accessibility of the project at various different price levels for entry. We're not ruling it out. I think our current position is that it adds perhaps confusion and complexity that we don't need, and that it just, we like the fact that we've got a nice simple model, and then we don't necessarily want to sort of add that in, because the net benefit is often not really there. But it's something that we're not ruling out. We may look for more engagement from the community as we go forward, and ultimately, like you say, a lot of it's to do with the price action as well, and whether we have to do things on that to create more accessible points on that. So, basically, no plans at the moment. But if it turns out to be something that we do want to do, we will do it. But we're not going to do it just because other projects, are doing it, basically.
Yeah, okay, this separates you from another project for sure. So in the future, for sure, there will be a reduction of the rewards, I guess. But I guess you will announce that when the time is there.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it really goes back to that point of around community engagement. And if there are any plans to change the reward structure in any way, obviously, we will have those communications with the community, well in advance. But yeah, it's at the moment we're looking good. And if things change in any different way, positive or negative, then we'll communicate that with it. But at the moment, our runway is incredibly healthy, and we have no plans to do that at the moment.
Yeah, and we all got to understand too that lowering rewards is a part of evolution of a project, right? It's not always going to stay 0.7 or 0.2 or 0.1 over time. As the price rises and more people come in, rewards are lowered, and that way you're still kind of making the same return. That's how it's kind of the healthy way to do it. But reducing rewards is something that happens with every project, and no matter what project you run into, you're never going to get 2,000% for the rest of your life. So definitely, it's just, it's just not possible.
Yeah, completely. And I mean, if you think about, I think it was Jive perhaps asked earlier about where we see the future of these projects going 6-12 months down the line. And I think they're going to find a place. It's still going to be a very, very healthy ROI and very healthy APY. But it's going to find its place of where it fits in. It's going to be well above, and it will probably be possibly less than the most degen of degen moves, that are going to get you wrecked at the wrong moment. So I think watch this space. It's going to be really interesting. But at the moment, everything points towards a very rosy future for those getting involved, both in the past and right at this moment and in the near future.
Yeah, really nice. I got my 2 first nodes yesterday, so I continue. Love you guys. Thanks.
Good stuff.
Welcome to the PXT community, man. Yeah, happy to have you guys, on board. I personally have I think I have 240 nodes on 3 wallets. So, I'm a huge fan of Project X, and so I've been a huge fan since you guys launched. So I'm definitely one of the bigger holders, I think. So, Squeezy,
Sensei, make sure you come to the OTC desk.
Yeah. We'll give you a good deal. Yeah.
No, I got you. I'm one of the biggest holders of Vaporfy, and usually they can't even fill my orders of 1 million tokens because it's $100 grand worth of Vapor, and anyway.
Now you're just dick swinging.
Hey, I know it's gonna work, and I know it's not gonna work. So
Can you guys
I'm
hear
very
me?
particular. Yeah, Squeezy, what's up? Let's go on to you. What's your question?
How's my mic? It's good?
Perfect.
You're good, man. We can hear you. What's up,
Awesome,
man?
awesome. So
Welcome.
just to introduce myself, I'm Squeezy. I'm actually in charge of of a big Discord. I have 8 to 10 months of experience in the NFT space. However, recently I did get into nodes, and if there's anything I've learned from the NFT space that I'm bringing to DeFi, is that like if you have an NFT and you want mass adoption, all it takes is one person to step up and come up with an amazing idea and to like put it out there for this project to like pop off. And you know that's true. So like CryptoPunk, for example, right? Like I'm sure you guys have all heard about it, right? There was a time where it was literally being given out for free. But like what allowed it to be adopted in 2018, 19, 20 was people spoke about it, people told their friends about it. So you know, like just as an example, like someone brought up like innovation. So like what we do have going for this project is the team is being doxxed, right? We see good like price hold around like the $30. I'm seeing that. So that means like I don't see us going below that. I'm sure many of you guys will agree. And we have a lot of plans as a group. So like moving forward, I think like we as a community just need to step up and not just rely on the people in charge of the project. We have to add to the project, if that makes sense. That's all.
Yeah, man, couldn't agree more.
But yeah, man, excited for this project.
And I think more
It's
so,
going to happen,
yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I know. I was going to say, thank you. And I think you're bang on. I mean, it's like, we start this as a community-led project, and everyone's in this, and we talk about the X Collective, and that is everyone, and the success of it is, like you say, is as much down to everyone else as it is at us. So we'll do everything we can to support your encouragement and your trust in us.
Yeah. So my question is, what do you guys need from us? Like, do you guys need help with anything? Like maybe something that you're stuck on, like in a way that we can help the project. Just as a general question.
Massage.
Oh, dude, that was funny. Sorry, I'm not muted.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I think the best way is if you. I don't know if you're in our. You're in our Discord community, aren't you?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in here.
Oh, go on.
Squeezy, we got a group TM going on. Let's take it to there, and yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah,
soon.
no, for sure.
Yeah, we could definitely form a partnership, man. We appreciate
But like,
it.
one thing, like, you guys are a team, and I know like you guys are really busy. I can see you guys are working really hard. So if you guys are ever stuck, there's nothing wrong with putting a poll out there with suggestions. And who knows, maybe someone might come up with a brilliant suggestion. Like, you never know.
They might already be.
If you guys ever need anything,
appreciate you coming up, man. Reach out to me. You have a big Discord. Reach out to me too. I'd like to talk to you.
Yeah, Sergeant Rock here. Squeezy, love the name. It's great, and appreciate the question. I am all about collaboration and sharing. We'd love to. I don't know all the answers. What I do is execute and run down things to make things happen. So would love, and Sensei, you mentioned, opening up doors to the UOT and different things. So we would love to work with folks that want to help us, and we're all ears. So pop into Discord, hit us up, and you'll find us real receptive to figuring out things to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Rock. Thank you, Squeezy. Appreciate you coming up and adding value to the AMA. SB, I know you've been waiting a while. What's your question for the team? We can't quite hear you, SB. Maybe your microphone is in or something like that. I'm going to invite one more person up here while they're trying to... Bruv, I invited you up. You got to hit the green button.
You hear me?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I can hear you, bro. Why don't you ask your question? Good.
All right, cool. Thanks for having me up. I just wanted to pop up and say I've been kind of behind the scenes watching the team work and the team make their moves over the last couple of months, and I'm just thoroughly impressed, honestly. These guys, nonstop, all the time. It's something that I've never seen, and I'm saying from behind the scenes, I've just been watching them, and I'm taken back, honestly. As far as the founders go, I think the 100 founders of the Project X collective is a really strong point that people shouldn't sleep on. It's just a group of 100 people that are diehard to help this project succeed. And there's a lot of innovation and different ideas that come from that. So more of a comment than a question. Just you guys are killing it, and I'm really happy to be a part of this project. That's it.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
That's
man.
awesome. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Treasure Rock again, and I just real quick running the OTC desk. One of the, to your point, the founders are committed to the long-term success of the project. So we've got whales. We've identified another one today in the AMA and Sensei. But the thing that's awesome is that they care about the project. So when I write them notes and they come to me and say, "Look, I don't want to sink this. I got 1,000 tokens. I got 2,000, 3,000 tokens to sell," and I ask them, "Okay, give me a little bit of time to figure out to match you up with a buyer, and if you can't, can you drop those in slowly into the market as opposed to a big dump?" We've all seen the big dumps, so it's been exciting to hear that feedback from the foundation and the community. So thanks for that.
Thank you, Sergeant Rock.
Sorry, one more thing.
Yeah, you got, bro.
Also, just not with, I don't want to leak any alpha that I'm not supposed to leak here. But as far as the innovations going on behind the scenes, there's a lot of minds going towards common goals, and there's a lot of crazy, awesome ideas popping up. And I'm personally ridiculously bullish and excited for the future. So there's certain things I want to bring up right now, but I don't. So I'm going to leave it to
You're leaking info now.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah,
I'm out.
we don't want to do it here, but send me a DM and tell me everything. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, yeah.
All right, thanks again.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. SB, did you figure out your mic issues, bud?
Can you hear me?
Oh my God, you figured it out. We got you, bro. What's your question?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I have a couple of them. So, assuming that there is no more revenue other than the one that you're generating from the nodes, what's the current runway? I understand it's going to change day to day, but do you know what's the current runway? How far you can go without any revenue being generated outside of nodes?
Yeah, very healthy. So we're looking triple digits, multiple months.
Triple digits. Okay, cool. And also, do you have any plans to reduce the sale tax or completely take it out? 18%, I think it's on the higher end.
Yeah, there's no doubt it is on the high end. I think it's something that we do discuss regularly, not just amongst ourselves, but also with the Discord community. Interestingly, a couple of times we have brought up the subject. The first people to jump to the sales tax defense is the community on Discord, and I think it's just because does seem to be doing a job and a good job, and is helping the projects at the moment. But yeah, it's a variable that we have control of, but any change like that, like others, will be discussed with the community, and we'll all make a judgment call on it together.
Okay, I believe in your Discord at some point I've seen that down the line eventually. I don't see any updates thereafter.
Say again?
At some point on your Discord, I believe I have seen somebody saying from the March that eventually you're going to take out the sales tax, but I haven't seen any updates thereafter.
No, I think that's true. I think originally, when we launched V2, there was we didn't really know how long we would have that in play. But obviously, as we've talked a lot through the course of this session, it's all about learning, what's working and what's not working. And if something's working, then we're probably not going to flex that. So yeah, we need to be fluid. We need to stay agile, grind away, as Sensei keeps saying, which kind of makes me a little bit horny. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Okay. And when can we get a sneak peek of the investments that you're going to do?
I would say in the next 2 weeks, but a lot of it is obviously dependent on the markets, but we'll keep you posted.
So is it going to be like one-off investment or the pipeline, project pipeline in terms of the timelines on when you're going to invest into each?
I don't think anyone in this world, unfortunately, can outlay a timing plan on investments. I think if we could, we'd all be very, very wealthy. I think you might have watched too much Back to the Future. But no, we'll definitely outline a plan, as we mentioned earlier, around the sort of structure of those investments in terms of the types of play and potentially the volumes in those. But yeah, we're certainly not going to announce any timings on those because that wouldn't be physically possible.
Okay. I understand it may be too early, but what I'm thinking is, you don't have to publish the exact timelines, but as long as you can come up with some timelines with correlating them to the revenue that you are going to generate.
Exactly.
If you have a treasury and if you say after
I was
reaching
being
certain
facetious.
milestones, you're going to do certain investments, that at least gives the investors a confidence to invest into your project, right? Right now, nobody knows what investments are going to be. So it's just like, just investing and hoping for the best.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, I was being a little bit facetious with the timing the markets thing there, but no, certainly totally agree. And also, on that front as well, in terms of one thing we haven't mentioned earlier, is around the sort of community engagement with those, with those investments. It's a tricky one. There's always that balance between you don't necessarily want to go. To be careful what I say. Like the crowd is not always right. So we need to make sure that the positions that we outline as options potentially to be voted on are solid ones. But we certainly do plan over the very near future to engage the community heavily in those. And we'll also be, of course, as we always do, inviting ideas and suggestions in. As we all know in this world, particularly in the very low cap stuff and the slightly more risky plays, you can't be across everything all the time. So we're very much open to our fantastic community to give us some tip offs and things on certain projects. There might even be projects that they're getting involved with or they're starting. We haven't even talked necessarily about IRL stuff yet, but that's always a potential as well down the line. We don't need to restrict ourselves to the world of crypto, but yeah, we're definitely going to involve the community in those and publish as much as we can on that subject.
Thank you, Sal. And we just have two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. I know Professor has something at the end that he wants to say. So I know Crypto Dave was up here first. So Crypto Dave, what's your question for the team? We'll get it answered here, sir.
Hey guys, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I came very late to this AMA. I'm hoping you're going to have a replay. So I am in Thor, Strong, and Power. I just wanted to know if you guys have applied, or I think I read something that you're trying to get into the
Union of Transparency. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. They're working on it right now, Crypto Dave. I think he might be in a bad call area.
I think he is. I hope he's not driving.
Crypto Dave, you there? I'll give you another 10 seconds, whatever, and then we'll just we'll end it here, I think. All right. Well, they are trying to get into the UOT, and I'm going to do my best to help them out. Guys, this is your chance. This is kind of where we wrap up the AMA. Is there anything? I know there's a lot of questions. We've been here about an hour and 20 minutes. Is there anything that we haven't gone over, or maybe just things that you'd like to say in closing? Salad, do you want to go first?
Wow, I think I've hopefully answered most stuff. But no, I mean, just again, a massive thank you for the opportunity to come and speak to this community. And yeah, just super excited about the future and the things that we're all going to do together.
Beautiful. DiCaprio, you want to go next, my friend?
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for your continued support. Nothing else for mine. I appreciate you guys joining in, listening to us, and we're all looking forward to the future. Thanks.
All right, Sid, what you got for the community here? Anything you'd like to say in closing?
Yeah, we are doing really good, and thanks for all your support. And that's what actually keeps us thriving and create new things. And thank you.
Thank you, my friend. PKH, did you have anything to say in closing?
I think he's on the toilet.
He could be. I'm afraid to go to Skippy. That's why I'm kind of saving him for last here. So
Come on, Skippy, get the mic working. Come on.
So Sergeant Rock, I know your mic's working, and you've done a lot of work in this AMA. Thank you so much. What would you like to say in closing, sir?
Yeah, real quick. Thanks so much for having us. It's great. It's a badge of honor for us to participate here with the AMA. With Cryptonaires, you guys are an awesome investment group, and that's terrific. The questions were exceptional, and we really appreciate it. Encourage everyone, come to our Discord, get to know the family. check us out. Do it before you invest. Ask lots of questions. Anyone who didn't get any questions asked. My DMs are open. You want to hit me up? I've already got a couple while we were on this call. So thanks so much for everything.
Thank you, Sergeant Rock. And just really quickly, we're more of a crypto information service rather than an investment group. We can't give financial advice, but we do have a team of 35 hardworking people, including a security and audit team, that we go through the code of any project that we kind of bring up here and talk about. So, we do our due diligence more so than any other Discord, I think, out there. And so, thank you, sir. I appreciate your kind words. Skippy, did you have something to say, man? You here? His
mic is not working.
Oh, okay. No worries then, Skippy.
He's been trying to talk since the beginning, but I think his mic's not working.
All right. I know you have something exciting to end on, Professor. So what's it going to be?
First of all, I wanted to thank you and the CryptoNails community for this AMA, and then I wanted to thank the core team for Project X, the 100 founders, and the X Collective. I wanted to do like a surprise giveaway, so I'll leave that to you. Choose 5 people from your community, and I will give each one of them 1 node from my own tokens. So
Wow.
I'll leave that to you.
Thank you. And we have a recording of everybody in the audience that was here today. I think there was almost 500 at one point. So we'll definitely go through the recording, snapshot the 5 people and hand out those nodes. I really, really appreciate you doing that for our community. And we're here definitely to support you guys and to help you guys grow. And we welcome you back when you guys have some updates, to come back and tell us what's going on. And don't be a stranger, especially you, Salad Fingers. I kind of grown fond of you. So.
Oh, man, I'm touched. Yeah, we will do. We certainly will. And we'll try and obviously arrange that around when we've got some big, substantial stuff to talk about. So make it as exciting as possible.
Thank you once again, everyone.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, guys. Well, we really appreciate you guys watching from home. If you're watching this on replay, nothing here was financial advice, just some hardworking individuals trying to really take a project to the next level. And these great group of guys here. Congratulations on what you've built so far and where you guys are taking this in the future. Big congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.